Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Selena. So in this video I want to show you an easy tutorial on how you can draft this off-shoulder dress that has a cape on its round shoulder circumference. So basically this is how it looks like. I will be using 2 meters for the floral fabric, while for the plain fabric is half a meter. What I have with me is I have a measuring tape, I have a marker, ruler, scissors, and also I have a curve ruler. I'll be using this pattern paper to draft all my pieces, and I'll start with the upper bodies. I'm just drawing a straight line where I'll be taking all my measurements from, and after that I'm going to mark my bust line, which is 11 inches. So I'll just place 11 inches right there, and then the length of my top is 16 inches, so I'm going to place it right there and draw across straight lines. After that, I'm going to drop with 5 inches. This is going to be the off-shoulder line, and I'm just going to mark these points. I will now place in the measurements for this, and my shoulder is 15 divided by 2 will give me 7.5 inches. This is what I'm marking, but remember I'll be taking away this shoulder line because this is an off-shoulder. So on the bust line, my measurement is 34 divided by 4 is 8.5 inches, and I'm going to add 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance. On my waistline is 28 divided by 4 will give me 7, and I'm going to add 1 inch for the sewing and also 1 inch for the dart. So on the shoulder line where I'm taking measurements from, I'm going to go inwardly by 2 inches. This is going to be the off-shoulder measurement. From this point I just marked, I'm going to draw a straight line downwards to the off-shoulder line, and this is now going to be my off-shoulder, and I'll take away the shoulder line. I'm going to mark the off-shoulder to the bust line to get my armhole. After that, I'm going to mark all these other points together and go ahead and cut out. After cutting out this piece, I'm now going to mark my darts, 4.5 inches right there, and also the length of this dart is going to be 4.5 inches, and I'm just going to join all those points together. I will equally do the same for the other side of this draft. After marking both of the dots, this is how the front side looks like, and I'm now going to trace it onto the back to get the back bodies, and I'm marking it 1.5 inches away, and this is going to be the zip allowance. I am now placing in the dots for the back side of this, and 4.5 inches is what I'm using, and the length of it is going to be 6 inches. I'm just going to mark these points together, and I will do the same for the other side of it. This is what I have for the back bodies dots. I am now going to draft the sleeves. The first thing I'm going to do is mark a straight line, and this is going to be my shoulder line. After the shoulder line, I'm going to measure the length of my sleeve, which is 18 inches, and just put a straight line across it. After that, I'm going to drop down with 5 inches. This is the bicep line, and 5 inches is a standard measurements. So right here I'm marking 12 inches. That is my elbow line, and I'm just going to mark straight line across these 2 points. I'm now going to label these points, and my first line is the off-shoulder line, bust line, the elbow line, and also the length line. So I now want to place in the round shoulder circumference. So I have this piece with me to just show you how you can do that. So the first line I have is the round shoulder circumference, and the line below it is the under bust. These are the measurements you will need to get your round shoulder circumference. So my round shoulder is 42 inches, and my under bust is 34 inches. So 42 inches minus 34 is going to give me 8 inches. So I'm going to add 1 inch for the sewing allowance, so I will have 9 inches. So because this is the round circumference, I'm going to divide the 9 inches by 2. So I'm going to get 4.5 inches. So 4.5 inches is my round shoulder circumference. After getting my shoulder circumference, I'm just now going to place in the 4.5 inches right there. After that, on my bicep line, my bicep measurement, my round bicep measurement is 12 inches divided by 2, which is going to give me 6 inches. Plus 1 for the sewing allowance, I'm going to mark it at 7 inches. For the elbow line, what I'm using is 10 divided by 2 is going to give me 5 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm marking the 6 inches. As for my round sleeve, I'm dividing 8 by 2. I'm going to get 4 inches and I'm going to add 1 inch as the sewing allowance. After marking all these points, I'm just going to join the shoulder line and the bicep line together so that I can get my armhole. I will now join these other points together. After joining all these points, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the sleeve. I am now drafting the skirt part, and I have this line which is going to act as the waistline and where I will take all the measurements from. So I'm going to drop down with 11 inches. This is the waist to hip line. After that, I'm going to mark 19 inches. This is the length of my skirt. And I'm just going to draw across the straight lines. After that, I'm going to place in the measurements for my waist, which is 28 divided by 4 will give me 7 inches is what I'm marking here, and I'm adding 2 inches, one for the sewing and one for the dart. For my hip line, I'm using 36 inches divided by 4 is 9, and I'm adding 1 inch as the sewing allowance. On my length line, I'm going to go in 1 inch inwardly from the measurements of my hips. So it's going to give me 9 inches. However, you can go inwardly however tight you want your length to be. After this, I'm just going to join all those points together. I am now placing the measurements for my dart, 4.5 inches, and the dart is 1 inch. So, and the length of it is going to be 5 inches. I'll just mark these points together. After that, I'm going to measure half an inch here and connect it to the dart so that I can get a little curve for the skirt. I am now going to cut out the draft of this skirt. So this is how the skirt looks like with both darts, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to dress the front onto the back. I'm marking 1.5 inches away from the start point. This is going to be the zip allowance. After tracing the front onto the back, I'm now placing in the darts for the back, 4.5 inches, and also downwardly 4.5 inches. I'm equally going to do the same for the other side of this back part of the skirt. So this is what I have for the back, and also I have for the front. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace all these pieces now onto the fabric. I have now traced all these pieces on the fabric. I have my off-shoulder sleeve, I have my front part, and also I have my back part. These are what I will be sewing. As for the skirt, initially I marked 19 inches, but I extended it up until 28 inches. This will now be my length of the skirt. So I will be using this piece for the cape, and I have measured my shoulder circumference after I have sewn the dress, and the measurements for this that I'll be taking, the length of it is going to be 7 inches. I have already made a sewing right here, and I'm just measuring the round shoulder circumference. This is 20 inches, and because it's folded into two, it's going to give me 40 inches. So after sewing the dress, I'm just going to place the cape right there. As you can see, I've turned the dress inside out, and that's where I'll be stitching this cape from. I'm going to place it there like that and stitch it all around. After sewing the cape onto the dress and overlocking it, this is what I have, and I just want to show you where you can place your brooch. Here I'm going to sew it with a needle, and then I'm going to place the brooch, and this is how I place the cape onto the dress. I hope you learned something from this tutorial. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on your notification bells. Thank you.